Cheers. Ooh. I don't think I like that. This is the Wild Berry Celsius. It's definitely berry-y, and I mean, I'll drink it, but it's just okay. I wouldn't get again. So there's that. All right. With that being said, welcome back to my channel. I'm Abigail Grace, or Abby. Welcome if you're new. And this is gonna be my monthly reading wrap up. I try and do one every month. I skipped last month because I got really busy with moving and stuff, because I'm back home in Texas. If you didn't watch my last vlog, it's like a being back home vlog, so check it out. It'll be in the corner, one of these corners, I'm not sure. So that's what's going on. I'm back in Texas, and I missed last month. So if you want to know what I read, my Goodreads is always linked down below, and I don't think it's private. You should be able to go on there and see what books I've been reading and what I rated them. So if you're curious, always go check that out. But we're just gonna hop right into what I read this month. And how I do this is, even if it was an audiobook, I count it as being read because I like consumed the content of it. So there is, I think, just one audiobook this month, but I did count it. And that is this one, Her Royal Spyness by Reese Bowen. I gave this 3 stars. It was really good, I thought. I mean, obviously it could have been better, but I thought the narrator did a really good job, like doing the voices. I think that's something that's really important when you're listening to an audiobook. The narrator was really good, and I liked the plot. It was interesting. I wanted to know the conclusion. It is like a mystery, hence the Her Royal Spyness. It's like not Regency. It's like in the 50s. They're wearing pants, but they still, I don't know. I'm confused by the time period, but anyway, I really liked it. Really liked it. I liked it. 3 stars. Next, the next book I read was a book I read on my Kindle, which I have my Kindle with me here today. I read a lot on my Kindle this month. I have 4 books in physical form, but the rest are all on my Kindle. I've loved it because while I'm living at home, I didn't want to bring like all my books or like buy a bunch of physical books because I knew I was going to be moving. So I did read a lot on my Kindle this month. So I'll just show you the pictures of what the covers look like for those. First, I read The Mark of Athena, which is the 3rd book in the like Heroes of Olympus series, which is by Rick Riordan. It has Percy Jackson in it, but it's Greek and Roman gods. I read the first 2 in May, and then so I read the 3rd one in June. I've read these books before. I just really enjoy them, and they're a little bit, they're still young adult, but they're maybe a little bit more grown up than the original Percy Jacksons because they're like late teens. Whereas like the Lightning Thief, I think Percy is like 12. And it's just kind of like, now that I'm 22 now, it feels weird to read about a 12-year-old. I don't know. But I loved it. Love them. I gave this one, what did I give it? 3 stars. It was really good. Again, it's a reread, so it's kind of hard for me to have that same reaction that I do, like if I've read it before. But I think it was really good. And I'm currently in the process of reading the 4th one, which is also really good on my Kindle. So the next book I read was very disappointing, and that is Book of Night by Holly Black, which I actually talked about in my last vlog because I was really trying to get through it in my last vlog. This book, I love Holly Black. She wrote the Cruel Prince series, which I loved, and this just was a flop for me. It was hard for me to get through, and the characters I didn't understand. There was too much detail that wasn't explained that I was confused about. So for that reason, I gave it 2 stars. Let me check. Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. So I wouldn't really recommend it, although I would recommend The Cruel Prince. I loved those books. So if you're looking for like something kind of fantasy, check those out, not The Book of Night. And next I read Protecting You, which is a Kindle book by Claire Kingsley. It's a whole series of brothers. So there's 5 brothers. There's 6 books, but each book is about a different brother and like their love story. They're like firefighters in Wyoming, super hot and sexy. I mean, you know the vibes of like a Kindle book, like with a cover with like a shirtless man on it. But this one, I gave 2 stars. I finished it. It was really short. This first one was like 150 pages. Flew through it. The ending was kind of bad because it really leaves you on a cliffhanger for having to read the second one. So I did read some of the other ones, which I'll talk about later. Next, I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I actually did read the physical copy of it, but my mom is currently reading it, so she has it. But here's what the cover looks like. This was so good, and I really thought this was going to be the best book I read this month, but something really came out of the blue and just shocked me. And I actually think I gave this 5 stars and then changed the rating once I read one of my other books, because I don't know if anyone else relates to this. You give a book 5 stars and then you read another book that you're like, that was 5 stars. The other books that I've read before have not been 5 stars. So I did some recalculating on my star scale and moved some things down because yes, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder was so good and I loved it, but it did not, like the emotional reaction that I had to this book that I'll talk about at the end, it was the last book that I read this month, doesn't compare. This was still honestly 5 stars. It's just on a different level, maybe. It's like a girl is doing a project for her senior year where she's digging into this like cold case that this girl was murdered in her hometown. It's really good. It's like very much Criminal Minds vibes. I talked about it on my Instagram. So if you're curious, you can check out that video. I talked a little bit more in detail about that. So I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and the second one, which is Good Girl, Bad Blood. And that one was also 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It's the same girl, main character, solving a crime. This time someone has gone missing. And yeah, it's just very much like girl boss, like solving crimes. And also like, I was on the edge of my seat, like who did it? I don't know. Like it's definitely like twists and turns where I didn't expect the ending to be what it was for both of them. So I highly recommend both of these if you're into like thriller suspense, but also it's YA, so it's very like friendly for all ages. Those are those, which I again loved. Next, I read Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book, they just recently redid the cover actually. So this is like the old cover. They did a remake of the cover, but people have been telling me, several people have told me that this book, I had to pick it up. It was so good. It was one of the best books they ever read. They were right. It was so good. I flew through this, read this in a day. I actually read 2 books. I'll show the other one. Every Summer After this month. These are basically the same plot. I did not mean for that to happen, where I would be reading 2 books that are the same in the same month, but I did, and I loved both of them. I think I like this one. I think I like, I don't know which one I like more. They're both really good. I gave them both 4 or 5 stars. Let's see. I gave Love in Other Words 5 stars, and I think I gave Every Summer After 5 stars as well. Yes. Both 5 stars. The plot is the same, so maybe you don't read them both in the same month like I did, but read both of them. If you like one, if you've already read this one, read this one. If you've read this one, read this one. So good. It's basically like childhood friends where they have like, they only are with each other during the summer because it's like a summer house where they're together every summer. And as they grow older, they start to have feelings for each other. They start to kind of date, but then there's this big thing that they have a fight about and you don't know what it is. And the story goes back and forth between present day of them kind of trying to like figure out once they've reunited with this person they haven't spoken to for years, and the past. So you get like past story of like them growing up at the lake or in the mountains at their like summer house, and then also present day with them kind of trying to navigate what's going on in their current relationship with this person. So both are very good. This is a debut by Carly Fortune. She did a great job. I'm really excited to see other stuff come from her. And Christina Lauren, I've read stuff. It's actually an author duo, but I've read stuff by them. It's always really good, although steamy. Both are spicy. Definitely not for children, but not too like terribly explicit either. Okay, and those are all the physical books I have with me. So after I read Love in Other Words, I read Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, because they are making the first one of this series, which is, I actually don't remember the name of it. Oh, It Happened One Summer. It Happened One Summer, and then this one, Hook, Line, and Sinker, are like a series. They're making the first one into a movie, and I've read the first one, and I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 3 stars. But I saw they're making it into a movie and people were talking a lot about Hook, Line, and Sinker. It's something like a summer vibes book. So I decided to read it. I read it on my Kindle. It was good. I gave it 3 stars. Kind of what you expect from Tessa Bailey. Lots of sex. And it was a little bit different. It's like friends to lovers. They have a really good friendship. It's kind of sweet. And yeah. 3 stars, good, but nothing to write home about. Where I would rave about these. That one, I just say it was good. And then next I read 3 of the Bailey Brothers books. So I read Fighting for Us, which was number 2. Here's the cover. I read Unraveling Him. And I read Rushing In. So that's about, like I said, the brothers that are firefighters in Wyoming. Very steamy and sexy. I think all of them got 3 stars. Okay. Unraveling Him got 4. That's the third one. It's about the Evan brother. That one had a little bit more of like a fun plot than just like they meet, they don't want to have sex right away. It's like, oh no, are we gonna or are we not? And then all of a sudden they're like banging all the time. That one had a little bit more of an intricate plot, so I gave it 4 stars. The other ones are basically your basic like Amazon kind of Kindle shirtless man, like I said. Good, I mean, but not for everyone. So if you don't want to read about sex, don't read those. Then I read Every Summer After, which I already talked about, 5 stars. I really finished this month on a bang of reading 2 5-star books in a row. I read Every Summer After, and then I read Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I had been skeptical about because I just wasn't sure. I'd heard really good things about it. It is LGBTQ. The main couple is gay and I'm not gay, and so I was like, maybe it won't be that interesting to me. Like, I like to read about like heterosexual like relationships, like a guy and a girl, because that's how I'm inclined, and it's more like I can relate to the characters more. But this book blew me out of the water. I was not prepared for how much I would love Alex and Henry and be rooting for them to be together, beat the odds. And I cried. I cried multiple times in this book. And the end, I don't want to give anything away because it is really good and I think everyone should read it. But it's like the first son of the United States. His mom is the first female president. She's from Texas. He's half Mexican. And the Prince of England, Henry, they like form a relationship and it's just really good. There's like a lot of good messages in there about like Pride. One, it's Pride Month. Well, it was Pride Month, so it was really good to read for Pride. Roe v. Wade got overturned, and you know what? I'll just insert a clip that I took right after I finished. I was really emotional, and I will just insert that here to kind of explain it.
I just finished Red, White, and Royal Blue. I'm crying. Something about seeing Texas go blue. I'm from Texas, and with everything that's going on right now, it's Pride Month, Roe v. Wade, it's a little close to home. I wish maybe one day we'll have a blue Texas. We'll see.
But yeah, those are the books that I read this month. If you read any of them, read Every Summer After, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Love in Other Words, and Red, White, and Royal Blue. Those are my top picks from this month, and I'm really happy that I read all of them. And yeah, I think I did a pretty good job this month of kind of like switching up the genres. I have like a fantasy, some like suspense, like mystery ones, some romance. Obviously, I love romance. We all know this, but I feel like I had a good mix of some other ones in there too. So in total, I read, let's see how many books I read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 books this month. And that is because I'm living at home and I don't have a job and I'm just chilling at home all day. So I just read. So cheers to that, and come back for my next video is going to be the vlog from my friend's bachelorette. It was really fun and I got some good footage. So that'll be next week. I'll see you then. Bye.